We don't talk about any faith. We rather propagate and render practical teachings of divine love. We teach people how to spiritualize themselves, how to awaken the spirits. As the term spirituality refers to spirits. We share our energies and we render, sort of transmit spiritually our energies from our hearts and our souls to the hearts and souls of the seekers. Love is not just a feeling. Love is a substance. And that substance is positive, divine energy. There are a lot of people, a lot of priests, and a lot of spiritualists who talk about divine energy and positive energy. But do we ever hear how to generate and how to produce that divine and positive energy? The purpose of MFI, Messiah Foundation International, is to tell people the divine doctrine and spiritual methodology whereby we can ourselves generate and produce positive energy. When I was a kid, I used to ask my mother, I did not go to school to learn how to hate.
Oh.
And I used to ask my mother, when I was a little kid, about 7, 8 years ago, I did not go to school to learn how to hold a grudge. But I do hold a grudge against people. I did not go to a school to learn how to hate. But involuntarily, I happen to hate certain people who don't get along well with me. But I used to ask my mother, why don't I simply love people? Why do I have to learn to love when I didn't have to learn to hate, when I didn't have to learn to hold a grudge, to backbite against people, to find faults with others, to wage wars against people who don't agree to my thoughts? My mother didn't have an answer. But when I was 16, I met this man, and his name is Rarias, and he's a wonderful man. He shared his positive energies with me. He awakened my heart, and he spiritualized my life, and he taught me how to love, and he told me the reason why we didn't have to learn to hate, we didn't have to learn to hold a grudge, we didn't have to learn to find faults with others, is because when a human being is born, a negative spirit is also born with us. Certain negative energies are born when we are born into this world. Certain negative spirits are born inside our body when we are born. And spirituality is about negating those negative energies from that spirit and providing positive energies, divine energies. And that happens when we are in contact with a divine, spiritual, universal, spiritualist master. I often hear people talk about spirituality. Unfortunately, this is the fact. We cannot just become spiritual by reading books. There are so many celestial books in the world. Old Testaments, New Testaments, Torah, Talmud, Bible, Quran, so many great books. But no person on earth became holy or spiritual by mere reading these books. It's all about practical methodology whereby somebody, some universal master, can transmit some substance of divine energy and enlighten our souls and enlighten our hearts. My master tells me that we have 7 souls, 7 spirits, not just one. We have 7 spirits in our bodies. Each one of us has 7 bodies, 7 celestial bodies, 7 souls, 7 spirits. But these souls, these spirits are in sleeping mode. They are dormant. And these souls need to be awakened spiritually. And we need a spiritual master who can revive and awaken these souls. What actually happens when these souls are revived and awakened? There are many sources of obtaining divine energies. Some people contemplate on the sun and absorb its light, and they obtain some kind of power from the rays and beams of the sun. Some people concentrate on a candle and they absorb the light from the candle, and with the help of that energy they obtain some kind of power. But my Lord tells me there is yet another way that can render to our hearts and our souls abundance of divine energy. And that type of energy, that divine energy, is produced by a methodology whereby the name of the Lord, name of God, no matter what language you speak, no matter what name of God you call upon God, that name, when it is articulated in a mystical method, when we rub our palms, we feel heat. In a similar way, when 2 stones are rubbed together, spark is created. My master tells me, when the name of the Lord is articulated in a mystical methodology, it generates divine energy. And he told me that our heart is a pumping station. There is a mystical methodology by the virtue of which the name of the Lord is inserted and implanted in the beating system of the heart. If you place your palm on your heart, you will feel it's just simply throbbing. It's not saying anything. But as soon as the name of the Lord is implanted in the beating system of the heart, it is articulated with the name of the Lord. You will just sit, place your palm on your heart, and you will feel that your heart is now saying the name of the Lord that you often say with your tongue. When we say the name of the Lord with our tongue, of course, positive energy is generated, but it doesn't enter the heart. Because the place of love is not our nose, is not our eyes.